This is going to be a very interesting problem here because we're going to have to do some thinking after we work the problem. We're going to have to do some thinking to actually answer it. So let's see, it says find the maximum number of goldfish you can put into a cylindrical tank whose diameter is 8 meters and whose height is 3 meters if each goldfish needs 2 cubic meters of water. Well, in order for us to even begin this problem, we need to know how much water this tank will hold. That's a volumetric measure. So we need to know our volume formula for a cylinder. And that formula is volume will equal pi times the radius squared times h. Well, in this problem, they gave us that the diameter was 8 meters. So if you'll remember from your geometry, a radius is half as much as a diameter is. So our radius then would be 4. They told us that the height is 3 meters. They gave that to us. And we also know that pi, we can use 3.14 in place of pi. So what we have now is volume will equal 3.14 times 4 squared times 3. And we have to do our squaring first, order of operations. So that means volume will equal 3.14 times 4 squared would be 16 times 3. Now remember, I can multiply in any order I want to, and it might be a little bit easier to do the whole number multiplication before we worry about the decimal. So that means volume will equal 3.14 times 48. Now we can multiply it by the decimal. To get this volume is 150.72 cubic meters. Now that's how much water the tank will hold. But that's not what they asked us. They wanted us to find the maximum number of goldfish that we could put into this cylindrical tank. We can't put 150 of these fish in here because each fish needs 2 cubic meters of water. So if we have 150.72 cubic meters and each fish requires 2 cubic meters, we need to do some division to figure out how many of those fish can go into that tank. So when we do our division, let's see, 2 goes into 15 7 times, and continue doing your division. Now right now we're getting 75.3 fish. It is quite impossible to put 0.3 of a fish into a tank. We also can't round up, even though in this particular problem, the 0.3 we wouldn't round up. But our traditional rounding rules do not apply always when you're talking about true application problems. Because if you were to round this up to 76 fish, now each one of them doesn't have 2 cubic meters of space. So we have to round down basically to make sure that each fish has the proper amount, and our true answer here would be 75 fish.